Hey there, everybody. Meteorologist Will Haney here. Lots to get through in the next 10 minutes or so. We're going to be going through a lot. So buckle up. I'm going to give this just a few seconds. We don't have a ton of time, unfortunately. I've been kind of slammed tonight just getting things ready graphic-wise and getting the forecast together for this coming Tuesday, Wednesday. It's going to be a very active pattern that we're in. Very potent cold front approaching early Wednesday. Out ahead of it, we could see some strong to severe storms, which may sound kind of crazy because we're still in February. But this setup that we're going to see is more typical of like almost late March or April, being fueled primarily by record warmth that we're likely going to see, I think, on Tuesday. Give me just 1 second and I'll share this to my page. Then we'll get started. All right, that's done. I'm gonna close out of this. Hello, happy Sunday, Mike Lewis. What's up? Okay, so let's set the stage here. This is the sort of temperatures we're gonna be talking into early this week. So 60 for a high tomorrow, 67 on Tuesday. So if you thought today was nice, just wait till tomorrow. It's gonna be even nicer, less windy and even warmer. 67 on Tuesday, could see some showers in the morning, but the better timing for strong to possibly severe storms is going to be after dark Saturday, and specifically probably like after 10 o'clock Saturday. Now the timing, we'll still have to keep an eye on it. It could shift an hour or two earlier, hour or two later, but right now as a general window, I would just consider about 7, 8 o'clock till about 2 a.m. as a window of opportunity for some strong to severe storms here in West Michigan. You can see the record warmth on Tuesday is followed up with 40 degrees on Wednesday. Here's the kicker though for Wednesday. That's going to be kind of like a 7 a.m. temperature, that 40. And then we're going to be in the 20s probably by Wednesday afternoon. So Wednesday is going to be super raw, super windy, very cold, especially after our record warm day. And so that cold front is what's driving that potential for some storms. So we're going to get through just some of what we're looking at as far as some of the ingredients for some strong storms late Tuesday. This is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Note the timestamp in the top left of the map. So we're in the low 60s tomorrow at about 4 o'clock, I think pretty much area wide. Tomorrow night into early Tuesday, cloud cover increases. We can't rule out a stray shower or even thunderstorm on Tuesday. That is a window where, even an isolated strong storm is possible. I'm not really fully convinced. I don't think the ingredients are quite as good as late Tuesday. But Tuesday morning, I wouldn't sleep on it necessarily. We're kind of just keeping an eye on it. If we can get an isolated storm or two to fire Tuesday, hail in an isolated storm isn't off the table. And same with gusty winds. There's a decent amount of rising motion in the atmosphere even Tuesday morning. But that is not the main event. I want to make that very clear. So watch what happens Tuesday. We're staying mostly cloudy. Temperatures really come up into Tuesday afternoon and into the evening. So you can see that surge into the middle to upper 60s briefly ahead of the incoming rain and storms that's likely to set up, I think, late Tuesday. So a few things here. They're late night storms. Sometimes that's a little concerning just because people are in bed. So you need to just start thinking ahead. Make sure you have a way to receive weather alerts, weather warnings. Your phone is a good resource. Our Weather Alert Network app is a good resource, but you got to make sure your phone isn't on silent. And then also a NOAA weather radio. I mean, that's like foolproof at nighttime because they're super loud. And I always recommend having a NOAA weather radio. And then also, the sirens, that's not something you should rely on when you're sleeping because you're probably not going to wake up. So that's why I say like these nighttime events sometimes can be a little concerning because people are getting ready for bed, they're in bed, and this stuff is going to probably happen well into the night, possibly even into the early overnight as you see there. So between like 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. Now, again, right now that's like a very narrow window, but what I would say is just keep an eye on the forecast these next couple of days because we're going to be able to hone in really specifically on those probably few hours of most likely strong storms. Right now, I want you guys to just be aware from 8 o'clock Tuesday through 2 a.m. Tuesday. And let's talk through some of what we're looking at. By early Wednesday, by the way, that's when the cold front's going to work its way through. We could even see a bit of a rain to snow switchover scenario during the day on Wednesday. Sorry. I promise I've been dealing with this cough. If you've been watching my Facebook Lives the last couple of weeks, I still have it. It's so super annoying. Anyways, so some of the ingredients in play. Jet stream, rising motion in the atmosphere, something called a jet streak specifically, is going to set up to our southwest on Tuesday, specifically late Tuesday. And in the jet stream, those areas of blue, those are winds going about 195 to almost a little over 200 miles an hour. Some people are shocked that there's wind going that fast at the top of the atmosphere. So that's like 30, 40,000 feet up. Near the ground, it is not going to be going that fast, but we could have some gusty winds for sure. But what we're looking at as meteorologists is that left exit region of the jet, basically where that jet ends, where it kind of is like the nose of that jet. We look on the left side of it. That's an area of enhanced rising motion in the atmosphere. Upper level divergence, which causes rising motion. Here's some of the ingredients we look at when it comes to severe weather. There's moisture, instability, shear, source of lift. This is what you learn in like meteorology 101. So moisture in Tuesday night scenario is kind of in the medium category. If it was like a midsummer storm, right, where we get like torrential rain, sometimes flash flooding, that's because there's all that humidity in the air. Now there will be actually a touch more humidity in the air, and there will be some moisture, but it's not going to be on par with like a midsummer storm, obviously. Instability for Tuesday night, which is essentially rising motion in the atmosphere. Instability is like the fuel of updrafts within thunderstorms. It's one of the things that fuel those updrafts. It's going to be kind of low to medium. Now, what we will have plenty of is something called shear, the turning of the winds and a difference in wind speed with height. And that is a really big one that we look for. And then also the source of lift. Remember, I was talking about that left exit region, rising motion in the atmosphere, or just kind of a broad area of lift, or the approaching cold front kind of acts as like a triggering mechanism to get those storms going. So that's on check, like high. We also have a ton of shear. And oftentimes there are storms that can happen in these, what we call high shear, low cape environments. Cape is a measure of instability. It's a weather term I'm not going to get into. But basically when you have a ton of wind shear, but not a ton of that instability, that rising motion, sometimes storms can still overperform. The shear kind of like makes up for the lack of that other ingredient, if that makes sense. So that's some of what we're looking at as far as the ingredients in play. What we have from the National Weather Service, from the National Weather Service's Storm Prediction Center, this is their day 3 outlook. And this is likely to change. It will likely be fine-tuned in the next couple of days. We could see some areas get upgraded. I think it's likely, in fact, that we'll see some areas. My best guess would be portions of northeastern Illinois, northwest Indiana. I think it's fairly likely that we could see upgraded to like a risk category 3 of 5. I do think a slight risk, which is a risk category 2 of 5, that area of yellow makes sense based on the conditions I'm seeing for now. Wouldn't shock me though if we saw a little bit of enhanced kind of creep its way on in. So what does this all mean? Risk category 2 of 5, that area of yellow, pretty much essentially Allegan County, Berry County, Eaton County south. It speaks to the likelihood of scattered severe storms. So what does scattered severe storms mean? That means that we're likely to have some showers and storms lift their way on through. We're probably to see a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings issued. That's what that risk level speaks to. In Tuesday night scenario, I think wind and hail are the biggest concerns, but an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out, especially, I would say, in the southern 2 tiers of counties along and south of I-94. Any sort of a tornado setup for Tuesday night, especially here, these would be embedded tornadoes, a very common type of tornado in Michigan, by the way. I would say the most common, which is where we have these lines or clusters of storms, and you get these just quick little short-lived spin-up tornadoes. They're oftentimes not your high-end, super violent, long-track tornadoes, but nonetheless, obviously something we're going to be watching for. So, and the reason for that is despite the fact it's nighttime, despite the fact that instability, specifically from the ground in the lowest few thousand feet of the atmosphere, is somewhat lacking, but it's just the fact that the wind is really going to be just turning with height. There's a big difference in wind speed. And so that can kind of generate some rotation in the horizontal that then gets rotated into the vertical in those updrafts. And so that's why, you cannot sleep on these sort of setups. And that's why I think the National Weather Service, us included, is pretty confident, I think, that we'll see some stronger storms late Tuesday. Now, this is late Tuesday and a Wednesday. That low lifts on through here. Cold front swings through early Wednesday. Some serious cold behind it. And yes, after our record warm day and those possible storms, yes, that is the chance of some snowflakes into Wednesday. But unfortunately, I am running out of time. Wednesday snow, by the way, not likely to accumulate really here. We might see like a grassy 1/2 inch to 1 inch. I don't really think it's going to be much to worry about. The bigger story Wednesday is going to be the cold and the wind. Some gusts up to about 40. I have to really wrap this up super fast. I was running a little late, so I apologize. But I will have more tonight at 11 in literally 4 minutes. That's why I have to wrap this up, because I'm going to yell at by our director, Jesse, because I'm really late for the mic check right now. But so records looking pretty likely Tuesday. Crashing temperatures Wednesday, wind, some wet snowflakes, and then sunshine takes over. And we're flirting with records, in fact, likely breaking records for the first weekend of March. It's a crazy forecast, y'all. We'll keep you updated. It's not a weather alert day just yet for Tuesday, but if things continue in the way that they are, as far as our confidence, I would put it pretty likely that we see some sort of a weather alert day issued for Tuesday, just because it is our first real tangible chance of some stronger storms. So I'm really sorry I didn't read through the comments. I'll go read through some of them. I just got to get off. I'll try and respond to some of you. Appreciate all of you. Stay safe. Colin will be here tomorrow morning. Keith in the evening. Keith's back tomorrow. If things continue in the way that they are, I might even come in late Tuesday just to help back things up. So I'll keep you updated, and we appreciate you guys. And just keep your eyes on Tuesday night. It could get interesting. All right. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And watch us coming up in 3 minutes.